Coach, your group was really good at times last season, coming out in the second half and putting games away here in this building. I know it's just preseason, but how important is it to establish that habit early and have that carry into the regular season?
It's a big time. It's big time for us to do that. We let our foot off the gas in that second quarter, and then they challenged themselves in the locker room to come out and do better. And ultimately, you saw that, 16-point third quarter. We were moving it, we were sharing it, we were guarding the same way we did in that first quarter, and that's what I was most proud of for this group.
Not just tonight, but in addition to tonight, the entire preseason training camp. What has stood out to you about Paolo in his third year now?
I think he's just got a level of poise about him. He's really just stepping into, how great he can become. He's leading out there. His voice has been solid throughout camp, and just his focus level of wanting to allow guys to just follow him in what he's trying to do.
When it comes to Jet, what have you liked or what has impressed you just about his growth and maturity from last year to this year, especially with tonight's game?
His defense. I think he really has worked his tail off to sit down and guard. He does a lot of individual work with Coach Tay Carter, and he's pushing him just to continue to get better, knowing when and where to take shots on the floor, understanding the defensive coverages. You see guards pick and roll. He's getting over screens, understanding where guys are, being in the right position. I mean, he's just done a great job, and he's worked tirelessly at it. And that's just been a credit to him as well as our coaches and what they're doing with him.
Jamahl, I think the final total was 32 assists on 42 made field goals tonight. How did you like the ball movement? Obviously, I know that some of the looks that you get is kind of a byproduct of that. So just what did you like about the ball movement tonight?
Well, like we talked the other day, talking about what were the specific areas of focus for camp. And what I liked the most was the spacing, the ability for guys to get to their spots, and us finding it at the right time, not trying to over dribble, but just making the easy, simple play, taking what the defense gives you. And I think our guys did a great job of that. Now, there's going to be some, obviously, we're going to have to clean up because that's still 17 turnovers for 25 points. But our ability to share the basketball willingly was pretty dang good.
Talk a little bit about it. Early in the second quarter, the team was able to build a little bit of a lead. They hit some shots, obviously, which helps. But what kind of impact has Anthony Black and his growth as kind of the leader, as the point guard of that group, done to help boost that team and boost him? Well,
you guys talked about it the other day. The common theme over camp is like how good Anthony Black has been, and he's been fantastic throughout camp. And he's focused. He's worked his tail off. You saw he's been in this gym all summer, just working on using his voice to be able to lead and control the court and be a table setter in these situations. So just proud of the way in which he's continued to work, the way the guys, kind of band around him. And he's just done a fantastic job.
Coach, a lot of good things come out of this game, some other preseason games earlier. Just what are some things, though, that you want to clean up as you head into the regular season here next week?
Well, it's always going to be turnovers. I think that's the one piece. I think not letting our foot off the gas when you have an opportunity to finish teams and continue to play the right way. And we'll go back and look at it. There was a couple of spacing clips we have to clean up, the turnovers and why they happen. And then obviously you saw Drummond had 20 rebounds. So our ability to keep teams off the glass is going to be very important as we move forward.
You talked about the ball moving around the perimeter very well. What did you just make of Jalen's poise running the offense and kind of getting everyone set up tonight?
I think we've talked about that a ton during training camp, and I mean it's been documented that how he and I have communicated with each other, the things that we're asking of him to do, and he did that. Our communication on the sideline. He's the coach out there in a lot of ways that we're on the same page, and his ability to get guys involved, knowing when to make the right play at the right time, seeing who hasn't touched the ball in a while, but then again you see what he's able to do defensively. I think that's the other side that we're missing out on, and between him and Kenny as the front line of defense is pretty tough.
You mentioned it a little bit there with the team challenging themselves to come out of the locker room into halftime. What does it say about this team that they're able to kind of dial up the defense the way that they are, that they have that much confidence in an area that young teams typically struggle with, that they've made it their identity at this point?
I mean, they know that's how they're going to get on the floor. That's how we have to play. That's from night in and night out. We're going to compete. You're going to be guarded at a high level, and we're going to take on that challenge. I think they just got tired of beating each other up all through practice, throughout not having the game, and you finally get an opportunity to play against somebody else. And I think that's what you saw from the first quarter and then into that third quarter.
Kenny may not have had the most counting stats when you look at the stat sheet, but when you kind of look at his impact on the floor tonight, what did you take away from his performance, this being his second preseason game?
I think there was a poise about him. I tried to get him back in at the 4-minute mark, but there was no stoppage of play. But he spaces the floor the right way. He runs to the right spots, and sometimes we don't value a guy just being at the right spot at the right time. Finding him in transition, just running all the way to the corner so it stretches the defense out. Those little things go a long way, especially with our guys who are able to attack and get downhill. Now they have to, the defense has to come in, and now you can just spray it out. So those little small pieces are things that he adds value in without even having to say much or do much.
Thank you, Coach Mosley.
Thank you. Appreciate it.